Morning, church. It's Pastor Mike. I hope you're having a good morning this morning. I had something funny happen to me this week. We have some hanging plants, Mandy and I, here at the house, and I noticed that a couple of the plants that are hanging by windows were starting to lean precariously out of their planter. I'm pretty notorious for not being good with plants in any way, shape, or form, and I'll admit it took me longer than I'd like to admit to realize that they were pulling themselves toward the sun. They were leaning out of their pot, and so we had to turn them so that they wouldn't fall over out of their planter. It's amazing to me that plants can continue to seek out the things they need. They can actively yearn for what they know they need to grow, that energy, that sunlight, the nutrients that they know that they need. We are no different than that. We can seek out those things that we have been designed to need in our lives. Psalm 1 speaks to it, and God tells us, He says, "Blessed is the one whose delight is in the law of the Lord, who meditates on it day and night." And God uses this to describe it. He says, that person is like a tree planted by streams of water. The beauty of that image is that we're the tree. We can choose to be planted by the life giving water. We can seek out what we need for our own health, our own safety, our own well being, our own knowledge, and our souls. When we delight in the Word of God, in His instruction for our life, His encouragement, and the knowledge of who God is, not only in all the world, but in our own world as well, we can bear fruit, God says, in each season. We can respond to the moment how we're called to respond because we have steeped ourselves in the life giving Word of God. What a blessing that is. But we have to plant ourselves by the stream. We have to seek out the Word of God, and when we do, we will realize that God has never been far from us. Even in those parts of our journey where we felt like we were alone, we were reminded constantly of God's presence, of His life giving energy, of His ability to change us, to form us, to mold us into the people that He's called us to be. So be with God. He tells us in Psalm 1 at the very end, in verse 6, that the Lord watches over the way of the righteous. For those that are doing His work, He guides us, He watches over, and no action we take, no step that we make in this world is without His care, His knowledge, and His provision. So know that you are loved by God and plant yourself next to the stream of His Word, His presence, and His gospel because it will give you life today to conquer every challenge that you face. God bless.